Every V12 sound explained. Ferrari 812 Superfast/GTS. Let's start with Ferrari's current naturally aspirated masterpiece. The 812 Superfast's 6.5-liter V12 doesn't just make noise. It creates an emotional experience that Ferrari spent millions perfecting. This engine revs to 9,000 RPM. But it's not just about the numbers. Ferrari specifically tuned the intake and exhaust to create harmonic frequencies that overlap at certain RPMs, producing what musicians call overtones. Additional notes that make the sound richer, fuller, more complex. At idle, it has that distinctive Ferrari bark, rough, angry, impatient. But past 3,000 RPM, it transforms. The sound sharpens, intensifies, and by 6,000 RPM, you're hearing what Ferrari calls the voice of God. The GTS version removes the last barrier between you and 789 horsepower of naturally aspirated fury. With the top down, you hear everything: the intake howl, the exhaust scream, even the fuel injectors clicking at 350 bar. Ferrari LaFerrari. The LaFerrari proves that adding electric motors doesn't ruin a V12's voice, it amplifies it. This 6.3-liter V12 makes 789 horsepower on its own. But with the hybrid system, total output hits 950 horsepower. The sound is unlike any other Ferrari. You get the traditional V12 wail, but there's an underlying electric whine that adds a futuristic element. It's like hearing a Formula One car from 2050. Ferrari borrowed heavily from their F1 program. The V12 has the same bore and stroke as their F1 engines, and it shows in the sound. Above 6,000 RPM, it produces a shriek that's almost painful in its intensity. Ferrari Enzo. The Enzo's 6-liter V12 was the most advanced engine Ferrari had ever put in a road car when it launched in 2002. Named after the founder himself, it had to sound special. The sound is raw, more mechanical than modern Ferraris. You can hear individual components: the chain-driven cams, the titanium connecting rods, the carbon fiber intake plenum. It sounds like a race car because it basically is one. At 8,200 RPM, the Enzo produces a sound that's been described as violence translated into audio. It's not trying to be refined, it's trying to be fast. Ferrari F50. The F50 is unique, even among Ferraris. Its 4.7-liter V12 was literally derived from Ferrari's 1990 Formula One engine. They took the 3.5-liter F1 V12, increased the displacement, and barely civilized it for the road. The sound is completely different from other Ferrari V12s. It's higher-pitched, more frantic, more race car than road car. The engine is bolted directly to the carbon fiber tub. No rubber mounts. So you feel every vibration, hear every mechanical noise. This is what happens when you barely domesticate a race engine. It's loud, uncomfortable, and absolutely glorious. Ferrari 250 GTO. The 250 GTO's 3-liter Colombo V12 is the most valuable engine sound in the world. With only 36 ever made and prices exceeding $70 million, every rev of this engine is worth more than most people's houses. The sound is completely different from modern Ferraris. It's softer, more melodic, almost musical. The Colombo V12 has a distinctive tone, less shriek, more song. It's the difference between a violin and an electric guitar. This engine won Le Mans 3 times. That sound you're hearing? It's worth more per second than most people make in a year. Ferrari 550/575 Maranello. The 550 Maranello brought Ferrari's V12 back to the front of the car after decades of mid-engine supercars. The 5.5-liter V12 sounds different because of its position, more grand tourer than track weapon. The sound is deeper, more mature than mid-engine Ferraris. The longer exhaust routing and different packaging create a tone that's still unmistakably Ferrari, but with more bass, less treble. Lamborghini Aventador/SVJ. If Ferrari V12s sing, Lamborghini V12s scream. The Aventador's 6.5-liter V12 produces a sound that's deeper, angrier, more aggressive than any Ferrari. The difference comes down to philosophy. Ferrari wants their V12s to sound sophisticated. Lamborghini wants theirs to sound like they're about to murder someone. The Aventador delivers on that promise. The SVJ takes it even further, with a lighter exhaust system and more aggressive tuning. At full throttle, it produces a sound that's been measured at over 120 decibels, loud enough to cause permanent hearing damage. The single-clutch ISR transmission adds to the violence. Every shift is accompanied by a massive bang as unburnt fuel explodes in the exhaust. It's automotive theater at its finest. Lamborghini Murcielago. The Murcielago was Lamborghini's first V12 under Audi ownership, and it shows. The 6.2-liter V12, later 6.5, sounds rawer than the Aventador, less refined, more mechanical. The LP 670-4SV was the ultimate Murcielago, and it sounded like it. Less sound deadening, titanium exhaust, more aggressive cams, everything designed to make it louder, angrier, more Lamborghini. The manual transmission versions are special. You hear the mechanical clunk of the gated shifter, the driver's skill in rev matching. It's a more involved, more emotional experience. Lamborghini Diablo. The Diablo's V12 evolved from 5.7 to 6 liters throughout its life. But the sound remained distinctly 90s Lamborghini, raw, unfiltered, unapologetic. The GT version was basically a race car. No ABS, no traction control, no sound deadening. Just you, 575 horsepower, and a sound that could wait. Lamborghini Countach. The Countach's V12 grew from 3.9 to 5.2 liters over its production run. But every version had that distinctive Countach sound. High-pitched, frantic, absolutely mental. This is the car that established the Lamborghini sound signature. High-revving, naturally aspirated, loud enough to set off car alarms 3 blocks away. The early cars with 6 Weber carburetors sound different from the later fuel-injected versions. The carbs give a rougher, more organic sound. You can literally hear them sucking in air. Lamborghini Miura. The Miura invented the supercar category, and its 3.9-liter V12 set the template for every Lamborghini that followed. But the sound is surprisingly different. Softer, more refined, almost Ferrari-like. The transverse-mounted V12 created unique packaging and sound characteristics. The exhaust routing was different. The intake was different. Everything was different. The result is a sound that's uniquely Miura. McLaren F1. The McLaren F1's BMW S70/2 V12 is widely considered the greatest road car engine ever made. 6.1 liters, naturally aspirated, 627 horsepower. In 1992. The sound is unlike any other V12. BMW spent 4 years developing this engine specifically for the F1. The sound is cleaner, more precise than Italian V12s. It's German engineering at its finest. Every note calculated, every frequency optimized. At 240 miles per hour, the F1 was the world's fastest production car for over a decade. The sound at that speed is otherworldly, a sustained shriek that seems to go on forever. Pagani Zonda. The Zonda's Mercedes-AMG V12 started at 6 liters and grew to 7.3 liters in the most extreme versions. But every Zonda sounds special. It's one of the best-sounding cars ever made. The Zonda R's 6-liter V12 makes 750 horsepower and revs to 8,500 RPM. With no silencers and a full race exhaust, it's one of the loudest cars ever built. Formula One teams complained it was too loud when testing at their tracks. The Cinque Roadster might be peak Zonda. The 7.3-liter V12, titanium exhaust, no roof. It's a symphony of mechanical violence that costs $2 million. Pagani Huayra. The Huayra marked Pagani's shift to turbocharged V12s. The 6-liter twin-turbo AMG V12 sounds completely different from the naturally aspirated Zonda. Deeper, more refined, but still special. The BC version has a different exhaust system that brings back some of the Zonda's rawness. The turbos muffle some of the V12 shriek, but add their own whistle and whoosh. Aston Martin Valkyrie. The Valkyrie's 6.5-liter Cosworth V12 is the most extreme engine in any road car. It revs to 11,100 RPM and makes 1,000 horsepower per liter, naturally aspirated. The sound is unlike anything else. It's part F1 car, part motorcycle, part banshee. Cosworth spent years perfecting the intake and exhaust to create a sound that's both beautiful and terrifying. Gordon Murray T50. Gordon Murray's T50 uses a 3.9-liter Cosworth V12 that revs to 12,100 RPM, the highest revving road car engine ever made. It weighs just 178 kilograms and makes 654 horsepower. The sound is pure engineering perfection. Every component was optimized for weight, performance, and sound. The result is a V12 that sounds like it's from another planet. The Ram air intake adds its own sound, a whoosh that increases with speed. Combined with the V12 shriek and the fan noise, it's a mechanical orchestra. Aston Martin, 177. The 177's 7.3-liter V12 is one of the largest naturally aspirated engines ever put in a road car. With 750 horsepower, it sounds like thunder wrapped in British sophistication. The sound is uniquely Aston Martin. Refined but angry, sophisticated but violent. It's what happens when British engineers decide to build a monster. Aston Martin DBS/DB11. The modern Aston Martin 5.2-liter twin-turbo V12 sounds completely different from the naturally aspirated engines. The turbos add their own character, whooshes, whistles, and that distinctive blow-off sound. The active exhaust system completely changes the character. In comfort mode, it's a gentleman's express. In sport mode, it's a proper British hooligan. Mercedes S65/S L65 AMG. The Mercedes 6-liter twin-turbo V12 in the S65 and SL65 AMG is all about torque. 1,000 Newton-meters available from just 2,300 RPM. The sound is completely different from Italian V12s. Deeper, more refined, more German. It doesn't scream or shriek, it rumbles and whooshes. This is executive express violence. Discreet but devastating. Mercedes CLK-GTR. The CLK-GTR's 6.9-liter V12 was built for one purpose, to win at Le Mans. The road car was just a homologation special. The sound is pure race car. With only 25 road cars built, this is one of the rarest V12 sounds in existence. It's raw, mechanical, and absolutely glorious. BMW 760Li. BMW's luxury V12s are the opposite of Italian exotics. They're about refinement, not drama. The 6-liter twin-turbo V12 in the 760Li whispers rather than shouts. You feel the power more than you hear it. This is a V12 for people who want the performance without the attention. BMW 850 CSI. The 850 CSI's 5.6-liter V12 was BMW's flagship engine in the 1990s. The sound is distinctly BMW. Precise, mechanical, purposeful. With the right exhaust, the S70 V12 transforms from refined GT to proper supercar. It's proof that German V12s can sing when you let them. Toyota Century. The Toyota Century's 5-liter V12 is Japan's only production V12, and it's the opposite of every other V12 on this list. It's designed to be silent. This is a V12 that apologizes for existing. It's smoother than silk, quieter than a whisper. It's engineering focused entirely on refinement, not emotion. Rolls-Royce Phantom. The Phantom's 6.75-liter V12 is about one thing: wafting. It doesn't accelerate. It gathers momentum. It doesn't make noise. It makes progress. At 100 miles per hour, the Phantom is quieter than most cars at idle. The V12 is there not to be heard, but to provide endless, effortless power. Bugatti EB110. The EB110's 3.5-liter quad-turbo V12 was insane for 1991. 4 turbos on a V12. It was complexity for the sake of performance. The sound is unique. You hear the V12, but also 4 turbos whistling and whooshing. It's mechanical complexity translated into audio. Maserati MC12. The MC12 uses the same 6-liter V12 as the Ferrari Enzo, but it sounds different. Maserati's exhaust tuning gives it a unique voice. Still Italian, but distinctly Maserati. The Corsa version, with its race exhaust, sounds even more extreme. It's the Enzo engine unleashed without Ferrari's refinement. Jaguar E-Type. The E-Type's 5.3-liter V12 has a distinctly British sound. Smooth, refined, dignified. It's not trying to scream or shout, it's just effortlessly powerful. This is what V12 sounds like before emissions regulations and sound limits. Pure, unfiltered mechanical music. Formula One V12 era. Formula One V12s from the 1990s remain the highest revving, most extreme V12s ever built. The Ferrari 412 T2's 3-liter V12 screamed to 17,000 RPM and produced a sound that could cause permanent hearing damage back then. Honda's 1960s F1 V12s had a different character. Smoother, more refined, but still incredibly loud. They proved Japan could compete with European engineering. The 312Ts, flat 12. Okay, technically a 180-degree V12 had a unique sound, broader, fuller than traditional V12s. It powered Ferrari to multiple championships. The Matra V12 had its own distinctive note, different from Italian or British engines. It proved that V12 character comes from more than just displacement and RPM. V12 engines fire every 60 degrees of crankshaft rotation, creating the smoothest power delivery of any engine configuration. This consistent firing pattern is why V12s sound so smooth compared to other engines. The 60-degree bank angle used by most V12 creates perfect primary and secondary balance. No vibration, no harshness, just pure smooth power delivery that translates into that distinctive V12 sound. Ferrari V12s typically have a higher fundamental frequency. They shriek. Lamborghini V12s have more low-frequency content. They roar. It's the same configuration, but different philosophies create different sounds. The V12 is dying. Emissions regulations, electrification, and downsizing are killing the 12-cylinder engine. Ferrari says the 812 successor will be their last pure V12. Lamborghini is going hybrid. The Germans have mostly given up. From the Ferrari 250 GTO's $70 million song to the Toyota Century's apologetic whisper. From the McLaren F1's calculated precision to the Zonda's unhinged shriek. Each V12 tells its own story through sound. These aren't just engines. They're the last of the 12-cylinder symphonies, creating sounds that will echo through automotive history long after the last V12 falls silent. Let us know which V12 was your favorite, and if we missed any. Want more breakdowns like this? Then subscribe for more, and join us along for the ride.